अब हम इस वीडियो में एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन प्रिंसिपल्स के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। ठीक है, तो इसमें करते हैं सॉल्व। पहला क्वेश्चन, which of which one of the following is not an advantage of energy efficiency? The access to energy services is decreased. Energy used for man does not originate from one of the following source, which is a frictional energy. The efficiency of Otto cycle, which is increased with compression ratio. A two-stroke engine gives less mechanical efficiency than a four-stroke engine cycle engine. Fill in the blanks, which is higher. The cross-section area of one cylinder of an engine multiplied by the stroke length is called, which is the करेक्ट आंसर सी आई थिंक। ठीक है, विच इज स्विफ्ट वॉल्यूम। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इंडिकेटेड पावर एंड ब्रेक पावर ऑफ इंटरनल कंबस्शन इंजन विच इज a total engine friction loss? The opposed cylinder engine has, which is the one crankshaft and two camshafts. In an air standard diesel cycle, the efficiency of depends on cut-off ratio, compression ratio, and ratio of specific heads. In a petrol engine, the mixture has the lowest pressure at the end of the suction stroke. Compared to the four-stroke engine, a two-stroke cycle engine, which is a can be easily started. If the cut off the ratio in the air standard dual cycle approach unity, then this lead to which among the following cycle, which is a Otto cycle? Number one is associated to start the compression in the PV diagram of a theoretical dual cycle heat supplied process given by, तो 2 से 3 तक के में है और आपका पता है 4 से 5, तो हेंस सॉरी 3 to 4 है, सी इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन। ठीक है, which one of the following is incorrect? तो ऑटोमीटर हीट इज एडेड एट कांस्टेंट वॉल्यूम सही है, डीजल इंजन हीट इज एडेड एट कांस्टेंट प्रेशर सही है, ऑटो साइकिल हीट इज रिजेक्टेड एट कांस्टेंट वॉल्यूम सही है। तो ये आपका ऑटो साइकिल हीट इज एडेड एट कांस्टेंट प्रेशर, ये आपका गलत है। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं, इन द ऑटो साइकिल the compression and expansion processes are theoretical model as which is the adiabatic process. In an air standard Otto cycle, how does the specific heat ratio of the working fluid affect the thermal efficiency of the cycle? An increase in gamma increase the efficiency. In a two-stroke engine, cycle engine, which strokes are eliminated? Suction and exhaust smoke. In air standard cycle, which consists of two isothermal and two constant volume process, which is a Stirling cycle? Which of the gas power cycle has limitation of isochromic heat addition of rejection in piston cylinder arrangement, which is Otto cycle? For an air standard diesel cycle, heat addition is at constant pressure and heat rejection is at constant volume. The main function of the strainer in the carburetor, which is the prevent possible blockage and nozzle by the dust particles. Next question देखते हैं, what is the following is correct? ठीक है, तो increase in compression ratio increase the knocking tendency of SI engine. In spark ignition engine, pre-ignition means ignition of fuel before the ignition of spark plug. Emission of HCCO and NOx is SI engine are relatively low as which is the lambda is equal to 1. The volumetric efficiency of SI engine is comparatively lower than CI engine. The function of carburetor is which is to atomize and vaporize the fuel and to mix it air in proper ratio. Which of the following is effect of detonation, which is the carbon deposit, noise and roughness, increase in heat transfer, hence all of these. In the variable venture carburetor, the position of venturi valves is controlled by which is a intake manifold vacuum. Which of the following is not an internal combustion engine, which is a steam engine? The crank radius of A single cylinder IC engine is 60 mm and the diameter of cylinder 80 mm. The swept volume cylinder is, तो कैसे निकालते हैं swept volume देख लेते हैं, ठीक है। तो इसके लिए निकले swept volume पाई बाई 4 डी स्क्वायर इंटू एल। तो डी आपको दिया हुआ है 8 और आर आपको पता है एल क्या है 2 आर के बराबर है, ठीक है। तो आर 6, ठीक है। तो ये हो जाएगा 603.42, ठीक है, जो कि आपका डी ऑप्शन हो जाएगा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, in actual four-stroke petrol engine ignition take place when piston approach 35 before degree before TDC. ठीक है, next. What condition does the engine require while idling in a spark ignition engine? No power demand. The spark timing and combination rate should be such that one half of the pressure occur at TDC. Which of the following option is the unburned fuel and other products of combustion leak between the piston ring and the cylinder wall down into the crankcase? This leak, which is a blow by gases. For two-stroke SI engine, the scavenging efficiency of 0.5, cylinder volume of 1200 cc, and the scavenging density is 1.3 kg per meter cube. What is the mass flow rate of per air per cycle, which is 0? तो कैसे निकाल efficiency m में अपन total volume into rho SCA, which is 0.0072 kg per cycle is correct. For the IC engine, the ratio of total volume of the cylinder to clearance volume is called, which is the compression ratio. An air standard Otto cycle operates with a compression ratio of 9 and the ambient temperature is 300 Kelvin. If the adiabatic index of the medium 1.5, what is efficiency, which is 66.67%. A petrol engine 100 mm in diameter and 120 mm stroke has a connecting rod 250 mm long. The piston has a mass of 1 kg and the speed is 800 rpm. The gas pressure is 0.5 megapascal at 30 degree centigrade from the top dead center during the explosion stroke. What is the force on piston due to gas pressure? तो N 1800 rpm, dp 100 mm, L 120 mm, L 250 mm, M 1 kg, theta 30 degree, P 0.5 megapascal, F P pi dp square P upon 4, which is 3927 Newton. The function of glow plug is a diesel engine is, which is a to preheat the combustion chamber for easier cold start. Which number is a useful measure of knock tendency of diesel, which is a Catan number. The major loss in ACI engine, which is the loss due to incomplete combustion. Maximum temperature of burn gas in the IC engine cylinder in the order of, which is a 2000 to 25,000. The process of driving exhaust gases out of the cylinder and replacing it with fresh air in two-stroke engine is called, which is called scavenging. Which of the following is a correct full form of MPFI used in engine, which is a multi-point fuel injection? A combustion has all the oxygen supplied with air to the reactant being used and no free oxygen appears in the product. Such air supply is called, which is stoichiometric air. Methane burns with stoichiometric quantity of air, the air fueled by mass, which is a 4. Methane plus oxygen, carbon dioxide और वाटर में मोलिकुलर मास ऑफ मीथेन आपका 16 ग्राम पर मोल हो जाएगा। मोलिकुलर मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन 32 ग्राम पर मोल। मास ऑफ एयर निकला 2 इंटू मोलर मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन डिवाइड मोलर मास ऑफ मीथेन 4 ग्राम। इस तरीके से आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग हैज़ द सेम कंबस्शन इन HCCCL homogeneous charge compression igneous engine, which is a hybrid of both SI and CI engine. In the electronic injection system, an electrically driven pump draws the fuel from the tank through a filter and supply the same to its injector. ठीक है? Which one of the following factors affect the ignition timing of the internal combustion engine? Which type of fuel? The MPFI electronic control system dash sensor send information about the engine speed, which is ignition. Diesel participated filter is used to control gas emission, which is a nitrogen oxide. Catalytic substance used in catalytic converter, which is a platinum. Smoke emission is controlled by, which is controlled by fuel emission. The value of BSFC brake specific fuel consumption is dependent on, which is the size of engine, the gear ratio, and the final drive ratio, engine emission calibration, hence all of these. To improve the anti-knocking property of the diesel, additive mixed with the fuel is, which is a ameliorate. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट देखते हैं. The charcoal consister is used to control the, which is evaporation emission of the petrol engine. Order of the affinity towards soot formation in the preload frame, which is the alcohol is less than paraffin, olefin is less than acetylene. The maximum air required for kg of fuel for complete combustion can be given by consider mass, friction, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur respectively. Consider तो आपको 1/23 8 C by 3 plus 8 ब्रैकेट में H minus O by 8 plus S. ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. The relationship between octane number and the centane number is, which is a CCN equal to 104 minus ON by 2.75. What is the primary purpose of Morse test, which is testing the IC engine frictionless loss? Advantage of air injection system in IC engine are cheaper fuel can be used, MEP is high, better atomization and distribution of fuel. Hence, all the statement is correct. Which of the following is the purpose of using sensitive catalytic reduction in vehicle to reduce nitrogen oxide? Synthetic way of generating test data set to evaluate the exhaust gas emission content in the various environment to clarify the vehicle emission compliance. This is attained by, which is answer not given. Brake power may be measured with the use of, and which is a eddy current dynamometer. Williams line method is also used as a fuel rate extrapolation method. Mechanical energy conservation. Vehicle moving at a speed of 80 km per hour weight 62,293.5 Newton and its rolling resistance coefficient is 0.018, the rolling resistance of the vehicle. तो पता है rolling friction F equal to mu R is equal to mg, weight of roller F equal to mu R 0.018 into R reaction 62,293.5, तो approx आपका 1,121.3 Newton का. In an electrochemical energy conservation device, the developed torque depend on, which depend on stator field and rotor field strength and torque angle. In electrochemical energy conservation device, example generator and motor, a small air gap is left between the starter and rotor in order to, which is a permit mechanical clearance. Water is used only for cooling purpose in, which is a diesel power station. Which power plant is free from environmental pollution problem, which is a hydropower plant? For low head and large discharge, the hydraulic turbine used is, which is a Kaplan turbine. The process of converting solid coal into fine powder is known as pulverization. A generating station which convert heat energy of coal combustion into electrical energy classified as, which is thermal power station. Which one of the following is not a valid advantage of water tube boiler over a fire tube boiler, which is easy to manufacture and design? Consider the following related to thermal power plant. Feed water heater decrease overall efficiency in a economizer. The heat of flue gases is used and heat feed water, which is only B is true. In which of the following power plant has the surge tank, which is the hydropower? Which of the following power plant has minimum operating cost, which is a hydroelectric plant? Which is used to control flood and excess water escapes safely from the reservoir in the hydroelectric hydroelectric plant, which is a spillway. A generating station that uses the potential energy of water on large scale to produce electrical energy is known as, which is hydroelectric station, which is the main purpose of boiler in a steam power station, which converts water into steam. A low head hydroelectric power plant, the velocity of water flow in when stroke is around, which is 2 meter per second. For which of these are Pelton impulse turbine is the best situated high head? In which type of power generation plant cost of transportation in minimum, which is correct answer is hydropower plant, hydroelectric. Next. In the Francis turbine runner, the number of blades usually order of which is 16 to 24. Which one of the following generating station does not require fuel to generate electricity? Hydroelectric power plant. The advantage of hydroelectric power station over thermal power station is, which is the operating cost of hydroelectric power station is low. Hydroelectric generators are silent pole type. For harness low variable water head, the suitable hydraulic turbine with reaction and adjustable vane runner, which is a Kaplan. A graphical representation of discharge and time is known as hydrograph कहते हैं. With reference of hydropower station, the graphical representation of discharge as the function of time known as hydrograph. The factors to be considered while selecting the site of hydel power plant, which is quantity of water available, head of water, accessibility of site, hence all of the above. In the pump storage hydropower plant, the electrical machine is made to work alternately as generator and motor. The efficiency of the generator working at the same electrical power level is, which is a greater than that as motor. Which of the following power plant is the most efficient but has high initial cost? Hydroelectric power plant. The hydel power plant of runoff river type should be provided with pondage so that the firm capacity of the plant is increased. Trash rack, four-way, surge tank, spillway are term involved with, which is a hydroelectric power plant. The main source of hydroelectric power station is water. In hydroelectricity power station, we require the following the generation of electric current, which is water. Next, water hammer effect is expected in a penstock. Of the following water turbine, which is not a reaction turbine, which is a Pelton wheel. In a power plant, the speed of turbine is controlled by governor. Francis and Kaplan turbine fall under the category of reaction turbine. At a very high head hydroelectric plant use, which is a, I think C, Pelton. ठीक है, तो C अगर हाई हेड एंड लो डिस्चार्ज की तो ठीक है. Kaplan turbine is a dash turbine and the water collides with the turbine blade, so hence reaction and axially. Kaplan turbine is reaction turbine and water collides axially with turbine blade. Hydel energy means which is water resource. In hydroelectric power plant dash reduce with water hammer effect in penstock is surge tank. Which of the following generator station had the minimum running cost, which is hydroelectric station? Which power plant is free from environmental pollution problem, which is a hydropower plant? Which of the below plants has highest overall efficiency? Hydroelectric power plant. Which of the following component is not a part of the hydroelectric plant? Economizer. Spillway are constructed for hydro plant. The hydro generator and steam turbine run at which is a low speed and high speed respectively. The ratio of power available at the shaft of the turbine to the power supplied by the water at the inlet of the turbine is known as overall efficiency. The material used for construction of control rod in the nuclear reactor is, which is a cadmium. The purpose of moderator in the reactor core of a nuclear power plant is to reduce the neutron speed. In which of the following reactors control is achieved by varying moderate level, which is CANDUS? The first nuclear plant was built in India at Tarapur. Compared to turbine in conventional coal-fired thermal station, nuclear power plant turbine use steam at lower pressure and temperature. What is the name of the power generating station which use uranium as a fuel, which is a nuclear power station? Dash is used to nuclear power reactor slow down the neutron, which is graphite. The radiation shield for nuclear power radiator for biological safety is provided by having the reactor encased by thick concrete wall. In a thermonuclear reactor, ठीक है, which statement is correct? चेक करना है, ठीक है? तो 1, 2 and 4 correct. The purpose of moderator is slow down fastest neutron produced due to fission. The moderator material must have low molecular weight. The multiplication factor is kept slightly greater than unity during its normal functioning. Hence 1, 2 and 4 is correct. In what form the initial energy will be released for the 200 MeV volt for fusion by neutron in the slow thermal nuclear reactor? Kinetic energy of particles and electromagnetic radiation. Which of the following is not essential in the nuclear fluid power producing system? A controlled fusion heat source. 1 kg of atomic material can produce as much energy as produced by burning, which is 3000 tons of high grade coal. Which of the following is an advantage of nuclear power plant? Its origin is operation more reliable. For diesel generating station, the useful life is expected to be around, which is 15 to 20 years. What is the ranging capacity of diesel plant? Which is 75 to 3750 kilowatt. Which of the following power plant has the highest running cost, which is a diesel power plant? Mechanical efficiency of the diesel engine fuel as BPI upon IHP. ठीक है? B BHP means brake horsepower, IHP means indicate horsepower. Which type of power station can associate any place? I think uh, diesel power station, ये option है correct. Next question देखते हैं. A gas turbine work on which is a Barton cycle. A simple gas turbine plant does not consist of which is an expander mounted on the same shaft. A pumped storage hydroelectric plant consists of a synchronous machine, a reaction turbine, and multi-stage centrifugal pump all in one shift. As per Electricity Act, dash means a process which simultaneously produces two or more form of useful energy, include electricity cogeneration. The objective function to the optimization problem in hydrothermal system become minimize the fuel cost of thermal plant, minimize the time of operation, minimize the water availability of hydrogenation. Hence, only A option is statement is true. Reversible turbine is used in which is used in pump storage plant. और मैच द फॉलोइंग, तो इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल सेल का मतलब होता है केमिकल रिएक्शन, सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक इफेक्ट, पावर स्टेशन, फॉसिल फ्यूल, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक इंडक्शन, इलेक्ट्रिक फोर्स. हेंस आपका हो जाएगा ए ऑप्शन, पहले का बी, फिर डी और थर्ड का ए, फिर सी. ठीक है. In order to maximum power from a Pelton turbine, the bucket speed must be which is equal to half of the jet speed. Next question देखते हैं. A Kaplan turbine is suitable for which is low head and high discharge. Which of the following characteristic reaction turbine is false? Which is the wheel passages are partially filled with water. The specific speed of turbine is तो n by root p h by pi by 4. Hence B is correct. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. An impulse hydraulic turbine, which is the operates by initial complete conversion of potential energy to kinetic energy. The maximum hydraulic efficiency of Pelton wheel for hydraulic efficiency is equal to 2 W VW1 plus VW2 into U by U V1 का होल स्क्वायर 1 plus cos theta by 2. ठीक होगा. Draft tube is used for reaction turbine pass water downstream without a deformation, convert the kinetic into pressure energy by gradual expansion of flow cross section, and the provide safety turbine prevent water split. Hence B is correct, which is convert the kinetic energy into pressure energy by gradual expansion of flow conversion. ठीक है. Next question देखो. What does Euler's equation of turbo machine relate to with discharge and power? Two pumps can operate independently at head H1, H2 and discharge Q1, Q2 respectively. If the pump are connected in parallel, then what are the resulting discharge Q and head, which is a Q equal to Q1 plus Q2, H equal to H1 plus H1 equal to H2. Reciprocating pumps are no more to be seen in industrial application in compression centrifugal pump because of which is a high initial and maintenance cost. Which pump is more suitable for an application where very high pressure is required to be developed at moderate discharge? Reciprocating pump. In a reciprocating pump having a mechanical efficiency of 80% delivers water at a rate of 80 kg per second with a head of 30 meter. The brake power is pump is which is 29.4 kilowatt. In centrifugal pump, maximum efficiency is obtained when the blade is bent backward. The specific speed of centrifugal pump is which is n by root q by 3 by 4 h. D option correct. D. Which one of the following pump is not a positive displacement pump, which is a centrifugal pump? In a centrifugal pump casing, the flow of water leaves the impeller, which is a free vortex flow. In the efficiency of boiler, turbine and generation of 85%, 45%, 95 respectively, then the efficiency of power plant. तो overall efficiency करने के लिए efficiency of boiler into efficiency of turbine, efficiency of generator multiply कर दोगे तो आप 36.3% है. Which of these source leaves larger carbon footprint, which is thermal? Which of the following contribution to the improvement of efficiency of Rankine cycle in thermal power plant, which is all of the above? Reheating the steam at intermediate stage, regeneration, use of steam for heating boiler, feed water, use of high pressure. Next, electrostatic precipitator are used in thermal power station to reduce the population. In a steam engine, the change in internal energy equal to which is the work done during whole of the Rankine cycle. Heating value of coal is approximately 5000 to 6500 calories per kg. As contain most of Indian coals around which is 15%. In India, highest power generation is contributed by thermal power station. Economizer used to feed water. Reheat cycle in a steam power plant is used to increase thermal efficiency. What enters the superheater of the boiler in the steam power station with wet steam? The aerator in the thermal power plant is used for removal of oxygen from the feed water. The calorific value of a solid fuel is expressed in calories written as which is a calorie per gram. Quantity of coal depends upon its rank. Coal rank is arranged in ascending order is as which is a lignistic, subbituminous coal and anthracite. Major portion of electricity produced in India is produced through which is a thermal power plant. The efficiency of thermal power plant improves with the use of high steam pressure. What is the position of turbine in thermal power plant, which is in between boiler and generator? Select the correct sequence of steps involved in fuel handling system steam power plant, which is a preparation, dead storage, live storage, furnace firing. In a steam power plant, dash is a heat exchanger in which of the heat is transferred to dash so that temperature can be increased, which is the superheater saturated steam. Which of the following is not a valid advantage of mechanical draft in a steam power plant, which is a running and maintenance costs are low? In thermal power plant, the role of superheater is to basically remove the moisture steam come out boiler. The modern steam turbines are impulse reaction turbine. Equipment used for pulverizing the coal is known as which a ball mill. Power generation of thermal power plant is based on which is Rankine cycle. Steam engine is based on which of the following thermodynamic cycle is Rankine cycle. The part of the steam power plant that extract heat from the flue gases before applying to the boiler in it is a econizer. Which of the following heat exchanger is used to rise the temperature to steam from normal to super saturation level, which is a superheater? Air pollution due to smoke around a thermal power station can be reduced by installation electrostatic precipitator. The function of condenser in thermal power plant is which is a condense used steam into water. Name of the generating station where electrical energy is generated through steam, which is a thermal power station. The overall efficiency of a steam power plant is about which is a B option is 29%. The overall efficiency of a steam power plant is defined as which is a heat equivalent of the electrical output divided heat of combustion of coal. Which of the following power plant has least efficiency? Steam power plant. Which of the following is not a part of a steam power plant, which is a diffuser? Which of the following is a correct sequence of heat transfer of water in generator, economizer, evaporator and superheater? The first thermal power plant of India, which is in the Hussain Sagar thermal power station. Dash is the present between air preheater and induced fans in the thermal power plant is the electrostatic precipitator. The efficiency of modern steam turbine is about which is 85%. Which of the following statements regarding steam boiler are correct? The boiler must be capable of quick starting and loading. The boiler should be have no joint exposed to flame. The boiler must be capable of burning flow as content coal efficient. Hence, all of the option is correct. Which of the following coal has the highest calorific value, which is a anthracite? The quantity of coal generally received by cement plant in the country has an as contains range of 30 to 40%. Most of the generator in thermal power plant run at 3000 rpm. rpm 120 frequency अपन pt इस तरीके से आप निकाल सकते हो. In steam power station, the condenser create a dash at the exhaust of the turbine, which is very low pressure. In thermal power plant, the pressure of working fluid cycle is developed by which a feed water pump. The pH value of water used for boiler the thermal power plant is slightly more than 7. The location of steam generating station is determined by center gravity of load, availability of water, facility of delivery of coal and removal of ashes, hence all of the above. Which of the following feed water treatment is basically one type of thermal treatment, which is deaeration? In a steam power plant, which of the following is not artificial broth, which is a chimney broth? Which one of the systematic arrangement of steam power station, which is core and ash handling, steam generating plant, steam turbine, alternate feed water, cooling arrangement? Which one of the following is not a part of a steam power station? None of these. Econizer is used to thermal power station in order to improve the efficiency of plant. Compounding of the steam turbine is done for which is reducing the rotor speed. In a steam turbine, the reheat factor increase with increasing number of stages. Which of the following fuel has the lowest calorific value? Lignite. What is the relation between thermal efficiency and electrical efficiency and overall efficiency for steam power station? Which is overall efficiency equal to thermal efficiency into electrical efficiency. In a thermal power plant, which of the following is not a mechanical draft? Chimney draft. Boiler efficiency can be improved by dash due to economizer, which is a 10 to 14 per 10 4 to 10%. Which of the following is a note of the advantage thermal power plant, which is a operating cost is low as compared to nuclear and hydro power plant. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. Which of the following is not the reason why mechanical handling of coal is preferred over manual handling in the steam power plant, which is a capital cost of preferred handling system is low? Which of the following is not a correct component of the modern steam power plant, which is a induced draft mill? ठीक है, अब जो आगे के क्वेश्चन है वो हम नेक्स्ट पार्ट टू में करेंगे. ठीक है, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो. प्लीज़ लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब.